Look, I think I did what I think almost any responsible
Yeah.
person would do. I think the first thing is, it's a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
So how do you make a couple $1 million last? And the first thing I did was I reached out to three different financial advisors, and I asked them all, like, what is your plan? How would you approach this?
Right.
And I think what I found through that process is most financial advisors, depending on how they are compensated to keep you in the market because
Hmm.
their business model is centered around assets under management.
Yeah.
And so that didn't work for us, right?
Right.
Like my mom had monthly expenses now
Mhm.
that needed to be covered, and I needed to find another way to provide her that cash flow that wouldn't just reduce her principal. I think there's two fundamental ways that you look at um, living your life, or maybe your retirement plan. The first is this nest egg strategy
Mhm.
where you're just going to work and you're going to keep adding to your nest egg, and at some point you're going to stop working, and then you're going to have that nest egg dwindle down.
You start drawing it down. Yeah.
Yeah, and you better hope that you don't outlive your
Right.
nest egg,
And
that
by the way, that's
inflation,
happening now.
new technologies out, or you know, I think a terrible strategy.
Yeah.
The strategy that I approach is like, how do I slowly stack my cash flow over time? So how do I like buy cash flowing assets and live below the cash flow means?
So it's like the difference between living in abundance and living in scarcity, right? And, a lot of people talk about this, but they don't talk about how it feels. Because when you operate from a place of scarcity, it's a completely different set of emotions than if you're operating from a place of abundance.